Back down into the first rabbit hole that I ever created. And man, oh man, it's been a hell of a ride so far. Thank you for being patient. Thank you for understanding. But today, we getting in here. Falling in reverse. The drug in me is you. Just like last time, we're going to keep it simple. So we're going to go from the original, and then we're going to jump over to the reimagined. We're going to see what we get. I know it's been a minute. Without further ado, falling in reverse. We're going to break this down more in the reimagined than the original, but we got to watch the original first. Let's go. My sound messed up?
I heard a knock upon my door.
See, this is Ronnie already messing around. I swore my sound was messed up. Let's go.
The other day, I opened it to find out staring in my face. The feel of mortal stock and still reverberates. Everywhere I go, I drag this coffin just in case.
Ooh. The coffin? Oh, Lord. No Diddy.
My body's trembling and shivers down my spine. Adrenaline kicks and shifts into overdrive. Your secrets keep you sick, your lies keep you alive. Snake eyes every single time you roll with crooked dice. I felt the darkness as it tried to pull me down. The kind of dark that haunts a 100-year-old house. I wrestle with my thoughts, I shook the hand of doubt. Running from my past, I'm praying feet don't fail me now.
I'm not going to address too many lines, but I can already see a couple lines that if he's doing that reimagined version, I'm very curious. The haunted house one, I want to see how that one comes across. And why does it seem like everywhere Ronnie goes, some females, even his lawyer from the scenes of it, or somebody that's investigating him, is all on him. Ronnie, you a wild boy. Let's go.
I've lost my goddamn mind. It happens all the time. I can't believe I'm actually meant to be here, trying to consume the drug in me is you, and I'm so high on misery. Can't you see?
I like the high on misery part. I really like how he really says, and I'm trying to figure out how I'm supposed to be here, but let me point one thing out. As much as I like the new version of the band and so forth, these boys is jamming right here. Like, I can see why back in the day, these boys were having a good time. They got that little late 2000s feel, but these boys are getting at it.
I got these questions always running through my head. So many things that I would like to understand.
What is it?
If we are born to die and we all die to live, then what's the point of living life if it just contradicts? The darkness as it tried to pull me down.
The double?
The kind of dark that haunts a 100-year-old house. I wrestle with my thoughts, I shook the hand of doubt. Running from my past, I'm praying feet don't fail me now. I've lost my goddamn mind. It happens all the time. I can't believe
This seems like back in the day, this was the definition of Ronnie. Whatever can go wrong, he gonna find somebody, a woman, to just mess with, play with. And I'm not gonna get too far into it, but I hope I can see some growth, some maturity in the reimagined version, because that's what Ronnie seems like he does. And he just seems like he was hell back in the day.
I'm actually meant to be here, trying to consume the drug in me is you, and I'm so high on misery. Can't you see?
Oh. Wait, the way that my man just went across that guitar front, this is amazing. I'm ready for the doubles. I'm ready for everything that y'all boys gonna give. Let's get it. Sounds so good. Oh, good breakdown. Yeah, I like that.
But you just can't help me. So long. Goodbye.
I love the double.
It won't work this time. 'Cause now I've lost my fucking mind. And there's no fucking time. I can't believe I'm actually meant to be here, trying to consume the drug in me is you. And I'm so high on misery. Can't you see?
The music is so good. Let's go.
Can't you stay?
That seems like a very Ronnie move right there, to just go ghost on all the women that he has to deal with. Very, very. It seems like exactly what Ronnie would do. Here's what I'll say. Well, I switch this over. Here's what I'll say. I think as we're listening to this and I'm looking at what Ronnie is trying to convey, it seems like there's a bad relationship. Maybe at this point he's had many bad relationships. But the thing that always makes me wonder how Ronnie was at that time was if the substance that he's talking about is a woman or the things that he had to deal with before as far as actual drugs, then the growth is always going to be the important part of, seeing where he's come. Because if he can come into a room or and sit with his band and say like, hey, we probably need to do this over again. I always think about when Ronnie is doing this and he talks about me dragging my coffin because I never know when the day is going to come. This is pretty lonely, like the darkness of a haunted house over 100 years. Like, he always has had substance in his music. Because I always look forward to the reimagined version. I feel like the maturity in Ronnie leads him to a different place, and he hears his own song different. And that's what I like about what he's doing with Falling in Reverse more currently. Let's go. I don't need to talk about it, though. I know we here to watch it. So, let's get it. I got to sit up for this one. I got to make sure that I'm good to go. But without further ado, the reimagined version. I like the snow. Thank you. He's got a piano here. We already know. All I need right now after this, I need them violins. I need some bass.
I heard a knock upon my door the other day.
I'm excited.
I opened it to find her staring in my face. The feel of mortal stalking still reverberates. Everywhere I go, I drag this coffin, just in case.
Oh. It's the melancholy feel for me. And I don't know what it is about that, but when a song can be brought down to that melancholy feel, it just gives it a different angle. And we already saw that it seems like the seasons are going to be important, but you see ballet dancers in the middle of nowhere dancing in the snow. So I'm going to take that as vulnerability. And I think that Ronnie resonates with this because it means that he's had to be vulnerable as well. Those key lines that I pointed out earlier, I definitely want to address those.
Just in case.
That jacket fire.
My body's trembling and shivers down my spine. Adrenaline kicks and shifts into overdrive.
What's the drugs?
Your secrets keep you sick, your lies keep you alive.
Ooh.
Snake eyes every single time you roll with crooked eyes. I felt the darkness as it tried to pull me down. The kind of dark that haunts 100-year-old house. I wrestle with my thoughts, I shook the hand of doubt. Running from my past, I'm praying feet. Don't
Come on, Ronnie.
fail me now. I lost my goddamn mind.
See, I thought right there Ronnie was going to start to turn it up. But I do like the fact that he said, I'm going to have a bit of softness right here. And although I could yell, because maybe that's just what I'm getting used to with Ronnie, that as he progresses, he starts to get louder, and I just really thought that he was gonna take it there and belt it out, because in Last Resort there was certain tones where he just started to just go there. Now I'm sure he's not just crying out at this point. I like the color difference as well, because you got the snow that is all white and then everyone else is dressed in black. The strings as the emotions, as the underlying piece of what Ronnie is, and I think that's what's important. It just hits the soul different.
Now, I lost my goddamn mind. It happens all the time.
See, this just seems so peaceful.
I can't believe I'm actually meant to be here.
Ooh.
Trying to consume the drug in me is you.
The interpretive dance, just so elegant.
I'm so high on misery. Can't you see?
See, I really thought that he would take it there again, but it works perfectly for him to just let it ease on out and be soft right there.
I've got these questions always running through my head.
Okay, now I can hear the aggression picking
So
up.
many things that I would like to understand. If we are born to die and we all die to live, then what's the point of living life if it just contradicts?
His vocal tone and what he's doing and how he just gave you a little bit more emotion right there is exactly why Ronnie can captivate people, because internally, if you do feel this way, sometimes it comes in layers. Sometimes you feel as though like, cool, I get the acceptance piece, I'm gonna deny it, and then all of a sudden the feelings are overwhelming where we're at, and that rage, whatever that feeling is, starts to bubble up. Ballet dancers, the interpretive dance, perfect because they look so elegant, they look so peaceful, but they are not in the environment they're supposed to be. Like, it's contradictory because they are in the snow. And maybe this is the drug that haunts him. Like, this is a bad relationship because it seems like either he or her is the toxin that just can't get it together. I think this is gonna play a factor in the end. Let me shut up.
Then what's the point of living life if it just contradicts?
That's a powerful line.
I felt the darkness as it tried to pull me down. The kind of dark that haunts 100-year-old house.
Screaming out.
I wrestle with my thoughts. I shook the hand of doubt. Running from my past, I'm praying feet. Don't fail me.
So I did see the fangs right there. So that vampire is still in him. I gotta watch that part again because I think it's just a part of who Ronnie is. I don't want to get too caught up on it. I want to see what happens at the end. Let's go. It's just a beautiful setting.
It happens all the time. I can't believe I'm actually meant to be here. Trying to consume the drug in me is you. And I'm so high on misery. Can't you see?
I love the depth on the piano. Come on, Ronnie.
I've lost myself. You tried to reach me, but you just can't help me.
The way the music crescendos right there, it builds and then it gives that piano a break. Let me build you to where I'm heading. And this is why this peaceful serenade of destruction seems to work so well. Like, this video can seemingly be so peaceful, but where's one place you don't need to be at night in the winter? It's in the woods. This is the drug that he's facing, and if he's talking about a relationship or anything else, then it shows his growth. I love this. I gotta hear that piano part again because the build up, just magnificent. And the dance here is perfect. I would have never thought.
I've lost myself. You tried to reach me, but you just can't help me. So long, goodbye. You tried to save me, it won't work this time. 'Cause now
Good note, Ronnie.
I've lost my fucking mind, and there's no fucking time. I can't believe I'm actually
I love the color contrast too.
meant to be
Ronnie in black with the flower velvet jacket
trying
on the
to
snow.
consume.
The drug of me is you.
The drug in me is you,
Imagine having to tell somebody that.
and I'm so high on misery. Can't you stop? Can't you
I love the slow version. Oh, the muffled scream. Imagine coming together, having these big dreams, having these thoughts, and all of a sudden, what tends to happen is people will start to get in their heads. They will start to place things into a relationship that is not necessary. And that's where the drug is. Because the unknown or the inability to allow love or, yourself to be yourself starts to show face. Now, one thing about showing face that I wanted to point out is the dancers have just this small mask on, and it seems like just a few jewels hanging off their face. But you can't transparently see their face, and that's a lot of what Ronnie is conveying. I can't depict who you truly are. I can't figure out who I truly am, and I know you're toxic for me. So just because we are seemingly vulnerable in this leotard that we're wearing, our face is still covered. I love the fact that you can say at this point in your life that you need to run. And maybe you are actually making sure that you push yourself away from that person because of how you are. I think that's why this reimagined version is so heavy to a certain point. Look. Some of the most beautiful things that we deal with, sometimes we have to let it go and let it burn. That bridge has to be burnt, and you can't look back. And it really seems like that's what Ronnie was doing here. Okay, finally, we get another interpretation, reimagined. I think the best thing about Ronnie is he can take something, like I said after the first one, and really bring the maturity back into it. Like the young punk that he was at some point, dealing with life as it was and experiencing life and really probably going overboard, now sees a different part of life. And here's what I'll say about Ronnie, and I think it applies to many people in their relationships. And let me know in the comments if you have made this mistake. So have you ever met or remembered somebody maybe that you knew about 10, 15 years ago, and you just remember them as that person? And then fast forward all these years, you see or you cross paths again, and instantly you think that they're the same person. But they're not. You start to see different details as you get to know a person, and that relationship broadens a little bit. I think that's what Ronnie does. He's broadened his horizons to see new things. He's elevated himself to say, hey, this at one point worked for me, it doesn't any longer. It no longer serves me as a person. And at this time, whether it have been him reflecting on what he used to do and the substance, the bad relationships, him disappearing, what I will say is he stood right in front of her. And although he had to let her go, just that small aspect says, if I'm going to have to let you go, if I'm going to have to watch you burn, no pun intended, if I'm going to have to watch you burn, you might actually be my world, but you're toxic and it's burning me up inside. I'm not going to choose to burn. I'm going to step back. I'm going to go to where I feel that I need to be, but I'm going to watch this dissolve. And as much as I might consider you my queen, you can't be. I don't know. It's just my breakdown. But I appreciate the fact that I get to see Ronnie come back years later and say, the person that you once knew me as, all the stories, whether I've been to jail, prison, whatever the case is, all the mistakes I've made, it will not define me. On that note, though, stay blessed. Enjoy the week. Whenever you see this, just have a good day and stay away from that toxic shit. That's all I'm saying. And I'm out.